God is good. I was wondering if I'd cry during this video. Hey guys, it's Maggie Rose. Today is going to be an interesting video because I just wanted to let you guys know of the struggle that I've been having with postpartum depression and how I thought it was completely gone, and I recently just went through something that made me realize that it's still there. Even though I come on here and I try to encourage you on how to live a good Christian life, I wanted you guys to know that I am not perfect. I am flawed. This is one of the things that Satan tries to get me down with. I kind of wanted to just share with you my feelings. I'm going to start from the beginning. This is about my battle with postpartum depression, and it all started after Malachi was born. I didn't really have any postpartum depression with Aria. I had baby blues, very bad baby blues for the first 2 weeks. After she was born, there was a time where I wouldn't even eat anything during the day after she was born, but depression didn't really hit me until Malachi was born. So Malachi was born and everybody said that under 2 was going to be really hard, which it was, but I didn't really realize how hard it was because I was like, wow, this is easier than people said it was going to be. I got this. I got this in the bag. I can do this. This is awesome. And it felt great for the first couple of months, and then Malachi continued to not be a super happy baby. He wasn't a super fussy baby, but he just was very needy, and you couldn't really put him down without him whining, crying, complaining. I remember we were going to the beach with him last year. I think it was last year. And he just nonstop scream cried for an hour straight, and he would not stop. We bought headphones for Aria because he didn't take a banky, all this stuff. So this kind of is what led up to this breakdown that I had. But it didn't really start to hit me that it was depression until later. But I was starting to get sad and depressed right around the time when COVID hit. Of course, thank you, COVID. But right around that time is when I was like, okay, this is getting harder than I thought. And then COVID hit, couldn't go out of the house, couldn't see anybody. I missed my mom so badly. And then during that time in May, my sister had an outdoor wedding with just a few people because she was supposed to be getting married. So she had a very small wedding and only a few family, like immediate family, were coming to that. And I got to see my mom for the first time, and it was amazing. I ran around my uncle's house and ran into her pretty much because I just missed her so much. I just missed my mom. Anytime life gets hard, you need your mom. So that was my thing, I think. I don't think I really realized that is why I missed her so much, is because I was struggling and I just didn't realize it. And at this point, I still didn't realize that I was struggling because of postpartum depression. I just thought I missed people because of COVID, and COVID was terrible, which it was. But that was not my point. But after that, it kind of continued. I still didn't feel like myself. Things would get me down. I would get depressed about, I don't know, everything. The kids were just so overwhelming. I would yell more. The TV was on constantly. And this was in the winter-ish time too. Well, no, it was in May. But before that, it was winter time. But anyway, staying inside because of COVID didn't help anything. It kind of felt like winter. You couldn't do anything outside. It was just this mental weight that I didn't realize was there until we went over to Hunter's parents' house. The kids were talking with his parents, and Aria said to his mom, I was playing with Malachi back behind the couch, and he was laughing at something I was doing. And then I laughed back at him. And then Aria looked at Hunter's mom and was like, Mommy's happy. Mommy's laughing. Why is Mommy happy? And that was so hard for me to hear. That was the moment that I realized that something needed to change, because who wants to hear that? I don't know. That was a rough moment for me. But then after that, I told my friend, and she told me, have you thought about reaching out for counseling or help or something? Because it was just something that she'd been talking to me about, and said that it might be helpful, especially if my kids are starting to notice. At first, I didn't take it well. I was like, I don't need any help. Why is she saying that I need to go see somebody? I don't need help. Kids make up stuff all the time. Aria probably didn't even mean what she said. But the longer I thought about it, the more convicted I felt And at this time, I wasn't even reading my Bible. I wasn't praying. I wasn't doing any of the things that bring me closer to God and make me feel better. Wasn't doing any of that. So then I decided, yeah, maybe I should probably see somebody. Talked to Hunter about it, and we both decided together that instead of counseling, instead of Christian counseling, I wanted to find a mentor that I know and respect, because both my husband and I together believe that, especially non-Christian counselors, they tend to put a lot of focus on self and making yourself feel better. But we wanted me to get my relationship better with God first and keep Him as the center of everything instead of myself as the center. So that's why we went with the mentor route. So I got a mentor. And Hunter had been going to this Bible study for a while too. And because of him doing this Bible study, it ignited this fire in him to get closer to God. And that was so inspiring to me that it made me want to grow closer in my own walk with Christ. So I started reading more books. Like, that's what got me interested in wanting to read all of these books. So I started reading a lot of theological books, a lot of evangelical books, a lot of good biblical books, along with doing some Bible study here and there. And now I'm reading the Bible the whole way through to focus on the Bible as much as I was focusing on these books. But anyway, because of his Bible study, that kind of reignited this fire in me to be passionate for the Lord. And that is what got me out of the pit of the depression. I realized what was happening. I realized that I was relying on the TV too much. I realized that I was being too angry with my kids, raising my voice too much. The TV went in the garage for about a month, which really did help. I should probably do that again though, because we're watching a little bit more TV than we should now. But we put the TV in the garage for about a month, and I'm still working on not yelling at the kids as much, but I'm knowing how to go to them and apologize when I do things like that. But I'm getting better at that. And then I started seeing a mentor, and that's really helped me even grow further in my faith and just to have somebody to talk to about my life. And that's been really helpful. So I thought it was good. I thought everything was normal. I was not yelling so much, not using as much TV. I had a mentor, and I started going to a Bible study, and everything was great. Like, all of the boxes were checked. I felt like I had everything back to normal, back to where it should be. And then Hunter got COVID. So we all had to stay home and quarantine. And I had to quarantine 10 days after his quarantine was up, because I had to make sure that I didn't get it, which I never ended up getting anyway. But Aria had it too, I think. So I had to quarantine for like 2 weeks. Oh, I forgot to mention, before quarantine happened, I was on this and still am on this high of getting my faith right with Christ and doing all of these things. And along that journey, I deleted all of my social media. I kind of check Facebook occasionally on my desktop, but pretty much deleted Facebook, deleted Instagram, and deleted Snapchat too. And it significantly decreased my phone usage, and from 8 hours a day to 2 hours a day decreased my phone usage. So I didn't have very much contact with the outside world. And so then when Hunter got COVID and I had to quarantine, I only had texting and Facebook Messenger to reach out to my friends and have contact with them. I will link the video to one of my YouTube friends on here, Kendra. She has a great video explaining what the difficulties are with deleting social media. And she talks about how people forget about you. And I felt that. I know that my friends didn't forget about me, but I felt forgotten by pretty much everyone. I know that sounds terrible, but especially if you struggle with depression, which I do, that is just something that is in your mind, and it just makes your thoughts spiral to places that are not necessarily true. But I feel like everyone and their brother forgot who I was, forgot I was a person, forgot everything. And I didn't have any contact with anybody except for texting. And I would send a couple of texts to a couple people, which either got forgotten about or didn't really reciprocate, oh, how are you doing too? It was just kind of lost, and I felt so lonely, and I felt like nobody really cared about me, which again, my thoughts were spiraling, and I knew that people did care about me, but in that time, I thought that nobody cared about me. Nobody wanted to talk to me. Nobody wanted to ask me how I was doing because I was really struggling, really struggling. The TV was on a lot. Over those 2 weeks, I was yelling more with my kids, and I just was not happy. And I remember specifically telling Hunter, this was I could leave the house and get out of quarantine on Mother's Day. So it was amazing on Mother's Day. But anyway, the day before Mother's Day, that Saturday, Hunter said something and I giggled, chuckled. And I looked at him and I was like, I think that's the first time that I laughed all week. And it was just eye-opening to me, like, wow, I can slip back into depression so quickly. And I thought I was over. I thought I was done with this. Another thing that helps me cope with depression is running. And that 2 weeks of his quarantine, there was only a couple of days when it wasn't raining. And then the week that I was quarantining alone and he could go back to work, he had to work late 1 or 2 nights. And then he had something in the evening, like 2 nights that he couldn't really get out of. So I felt even more alone because I couldn't even hang out with my husband in the evenings. I just felt so lonely. There was like a few people in my life that if I reach out to them, they will be there for me. If I tell them, hey, I'm struggling, they will call me. They will have a long conversation with me. I didn't reach out to those people because I think I knew that they would help me. And I think I just wanted to wallow in my self-pity. And that's a struggle of mine. Like, I want people to feel sorry for me. And I think that lends itself well with depression because you feel sorry for yourself, you want people to feel sorry for you, and it's just this cycle of sorrow and pity. Like, I don't know, it's just, I don't like it. And I can talk about it now because it's been like a month, and it's so freeing to just talk about it and tell you guys what's been going on in my brain. So I have good days and I have bad days. Most of my days now are really good, and I can say that confidently. And the things that help me, being a stay-at-home mom is really hard, and that's really lonely too. So I need to get out of the house with the kids, and that helps my mood. I need to go on runs with the kids, take them on errands, just go on a car ride with them and go pick up ice cream or something. Little things like that really, really make a difference for me in terms of not getting angry or depressed. And I also, side note, did not know that if you are angry and like yelling, that can be a sign of depression, which I never linked those two together. I always thought if you're depressed, you're just laying in bed sad. But no, it comes out in different forms, and I didn't realize that. So it was very eye-opening to me to realize that, like, yeah, you struggle with depression and you're still struggling with it, and it might not go away for a while, but God is good. I was wondering if I'd cry during this video. God is so good, and He's always been there for me, always provided for me, and He's just so good and so loving. And I thank God every day for the family that He's given me. And hold on. Okay, pull myself together. God is so good, and I thank Him for everything. Thank you, God, for everything that You've given me. But I want to share with you a few things that have helped me that might help you. I need to do a whole video on this of how to cope with depression and stuff like that, but I just wanted to give you a few things here at the end. God is always there for you. God will never leave you. He's always there for you. He's always in your corner. Even if you can't hear Him, He's there. Have good people in your corner too. Like, reach out to those people who you know are there for you and who you know will always point you back to Christ. That's the most important thing. Find people who will always point you back to Christ instead of pointing you back to yourself. I also wanted to let you guys know of a song that I really enjoyed, especially during the week that I was going through the most depressing time. It's called... what's it called? Truth Be Told by Matthew West. Oh, if I could play it on here without being copyright striked, I would, but it is so good. Let me look up the lyrics and just like maybe sing some a cappella for you really quick, if that's not awkward. Okay. Lie number 1, you're supposed to have it all together. And when they ask how you're doing, just smile and tell them, never better. Lie number 2, everybody's life is perfect except yours. So keep your messes and your wounds and your secrets safe with you behind closed doors. Truth be told, The truth is rarely told. I say I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine, oh, I'm fine, hey, I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm broken, and when it's out of control, I say it's under control, but it's not. And you know it. I don't know why it's so hard to admit it, when being honest is the only way to fix it. There's no failure, no fall, there's no sin you don't already know. So let the truth be told. Rough, but that's the main part of the song, and it's just, you need to listen to it because he sings it a lot better than I do, but just go listen to Truth Be Told by Matthew West, and that is a great song describing, for me, it's describing my depression and how to tell your truth to people. Like, not tell your truth, but like tell people the truth about how you're feeling, and tell it to people who you know will point you back to Christ and will help you walk you through it. Another song that I really like is one that my dad actually wrote, and it is called God You Are So Good, and I need to have him on my channel just so he could sing that song for you. But that one, song singing that I was not planning on singing for this video, just like, you know, but that one goes something like, God, you are so good all the time, my God, you're walking right beside me through the valleys deep, up the mountains that remind me how far you came for me, to show me that you love me, through the cross. Sorry, Dad, I forgot the words. You wrote my name in blood there to redeem me from the lost. How could I ever pay you back? How could I even try? As I'm silenced by your gift so great, yet I'll make this small reply. God, you are so good. So that one's probably my favorite song ever. I told my dad this the other day, but that's my favorite song ever, like out of all songs. I just love it. I love how it flows. That's my favorite song, and I want to have my dad come on my YouTube channel and sing that. Love that song. And I want to have him recorded singing it for my YouTube channel so I can keep it forever. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video explaining my postpartum depression, my battle with postpartum depression. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Keep smiling, keep finding the joy. Thanks, guys. Bye!